अस्तु नमस्कारः क्षम्यताम् इह षट्सप्ततितमात् श्लोकात् दृश्यते किम् अस्तु भक्तिर्महेश पदपुष्करमावसन्ति कादम्बिनीव कुरुते परितोषवर्षम् सम्पूरितो भवति यस्य मनस्तटाकः तज्जन्म सस्यमखिलं सफलं च नान्यत्. Now, the following 5-6 slokas are all about analogies. He is giving many upamas, comparing the mind to several things and how his bhakti towards Shiva is so sweet and so has a parallel even in the real world. So he is saying bhakti mahesha pada pushkaram avasanti. So there is bhakti, which is love or devotion or commitment to Shiva, which has sprung up like a megha. Kadambini means a megha, series of clouds. You know, there are these cumulonimbus and all these rain-bearing clouds. That is called Kadambini. So these clouds have come up at where Mahesha Pada Pushkaram Avasanti. These clouds have come up from the pond, the holy pond of Mahesha's Pada Pushkara. Maheshasya Pada Pushkare Vasanti Yat Kadambini Asti Sa Bhakti. So basically, Shiva's the devotion has sprung up from the feet of Shiva. It has evaporated and turned into the clouds of Shiva, of Bhakti. Kadambini iva paritosha varsham kurute. What does this rain-bearing cloud, give? What does it rain? It rains at another place, which is my mind. There is my mind. Manaha, manas sarovaram, manasa sarovaram. Tatra esha bhakti kadambini agatya paritosha varsham kurute karoti iti. Paritoshasya arthat anandasya varsham, contentment, satisfaction, and complete, all well-rounded joy. Paritaha toshaha paritoshaha iti. That ananda, santosha, which is fulfilled from all directions. Paritosha varsham kurute. There is a barren land which is my mind. And now this bhakti has rained paritosha into my mind. Tada sampuritah bhavati. Tada esha sarovarah sampurito bhavati. Yasya manaha manastatakah. Tataka is sarovaram iti. Yasya manastatakah sampuritah bhavati. Tasya tat janma sasyam akhilam saphalam chananyat. Tatra ekam sasyam udeti. Ekam sasyam udbhinati. Kim tat sasyam? Janma sasyam. Yasya manasi etat sasyam udeti. Tat sasyam akhilam saphalam. It shall definitely bear fruit. Saphalam cha na anyat. By no other rain will this sasya, this aqua plant, ever be able to bear a fruit, excepting for the rain of bhakti of Shiva's feet. This is the idea. Of course, this is the literal meaning. The other meaning is, Yasya manaha paritoshena sampuritah bhavati, whose mind is absolutely content with just the ananda of Shiva, of the Paratattva, and because of the love, because of the craving, because of the longing towards it. Tasya janma saphalam bhavati. Tasya janma, his or her own lifestyle and the entire life itself has now become saphalam, has been completed in its purpose. Akhilam saphalam, it shall definitely be, it is by all measures and parameters fully kritakritya cha nanyat, and no other way is there for janma to be saphala than this. All in all, as we have been discussing over the past few lectures, Shiva here represents the Paratattva, the ultimate goal. If for a person who is, let's say, an astika, you can think of the greatest goal of life, whatever we choose as to be the greatest goal. Maybe it could be an ideology, it could be ourselves, or it could be finding self-actualization through uh, paraseva and so on. Or if for a theist, it would be Shiva as the anthropomorphic form. So through that, if one develops bhakti, that itself, which has arisen from that great purpose of life, which will create love and commitment and therefore bring joy to our minds. And no other way is there, he's saying, for the mind, for the janma to become sapala without it. Bhavatam abhiprayan susayantu. What is your reading into this verse?
I would say anything in life, you have to have a goal. Without a goal, there's no result. The goal could be achieving a good result of your work or worshipping God and attaining bhakti or whatever. Without goal, your life is not going to be successful. So once it's just like riding the waves, surfing the waves. You surf a wave, you win, and then you aim for the other one and go. So life is just a wave of oceans, ocean's waves. So without a goal, first thing, what one I would advise is before you go to bed, you plan your day ahead. What are the days? How am I going to spend a day? If you're free, or if you're working, you have got a work schedule. And then if you have got any problems in work, yes, I'm going to face a problem tomorrow. How am I going to solve? And you have a strategic plan, and your mind relaxes, go to bed, you sleep, and you may get some ideas in your dreams or sleep or whatever. And then you wake up in the morning fresh, go to work, and you're able to face, unless you have a goal that you're going to achieve something. The day may be nothing, wasted day. That's my personal abhipraya.
Manoharam, Tamishanam. Um, and that really is one of the ways when we are showing and demonstrating our love for that goal by committing to it. By like I and Trivikrama were having a discussion of what if a person has chosen a goal which really one has no intuitive or innate love towards. And he said, Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Love comes only by Sangha, by constant familiarity with it, by attachment to it, by being in the company of that particular subject. So, and absolutely. And so the exact methods that you just said were to sleep with it, to wake up with it, and to strategize for the day ahead. That's a really great way to show commitment. True.
And also, I would say love becomes diminished if it's a very constant, mundane affair. Sometimes you'll have to take a break from whatever you're doing passionately. And if you take a break and relax, and then you're going to get a little bit more ideas, and then that love or a passion for anything becomes even more. So, attachment with detachment, that's what I was saying yesterday. Love for it increases. It's like familiarity breeds contempt. If you get too familiar with your job, oh, it's going to be so easy. I'm not going to get into any problem. One day you become so blasé, and the problem hits you, and you don't know how to solve it. So there should be union, and also there should be separation. That's why God has created opposites.
Wow. Satyam. It's so interesting how you say familiarity breeds contempt. And for that very reason, I've noticed in my own life. Perhaps you can share your experiences as well. How the best things of life we usually take for granted because we are so familiar with it. Let's say parents, friends, or close ones, or even ourselves for that matter. We take ourselves very granted. In the sense, our own kindness, our own self-esteem, we tend to, at least I tend to sometimes neglect. And so that is true. Familiarity does breed contempt. And therefore, it's only when we lose it do we understand the true value of it, I think. Astu, Samij. Nani, you can read quickly the summaries that I have written here. Love, like the row of clouds over the pond of Mahesha, perhaps a reference to the Manasarovara, rains joy and rhapsodies. If the lake of the mind gets filled with this, then surely the aqua plant of his life, his or her, shall be fulfilled, that is to fructify. No other way can that plant bear fruit.
Paritoshaha, it is beyond, so the happiness that is beyond anything.
Oh.
The joy, the bliss is actually Ananda, Sachidananda, Madhyayaha, Anandaha, Saha, iti manye.
Paritosha Varsham, Satyam. बुद्धिस्थिरा भवितुमीश्वरपादपद्मसक्तावधूर्विरहिणीव सदा स्मरन्ति सद्भावना स्मरणदर्शनकीर्तनादि सम्मोहितेव शिवमन्त्रजपेन विन्ते मम बुद्धिः स्थिरा भवितुम् ईश्वरपादपद्मसक्ता वधूः विरहिणी इव सदा स्मरन्ति सद्भावना स्मरण दर्शन कीर्तनादि सम्मोहिता इव शिवमन्त्रजपेन विन्ते विन्ते इत्युक्ते she appears or she knows vinte iti. We can quickly look at the dhatu form of it. With the dhatu rudhadi ganaha. It's the 8th gana. But the atmane padi form. With Saptama gana, rudhadi gana. To think, to meditate, to analyze, to reason upon. Okay, I was wrong. Vinte with vinte. Rudhadi ganaha atmayapadi sakarmakaha. It means to think, to reason, to meditate upon, to analyze. Vinte, vindate, vindate. Astu. Mama buddhi vinte. My buddhi is is analyzing, it's meditating. Katham sa sammohita iva. She is buddhi because it is Strilinga pada. She is sammohita. She has been charmed by what? Shiva mantra japena. She has been cast a spell. She is now under the spell of Shiva mantra. So mantra literally means a spell. So she is under the spell of Shiva. And it can also mean that she is constantly by the japa of Shiva mantra, which is Om Namah Shivaya. She is sammohita. She is now completely vashikrita. She is hypnotized by the mantra. And so she has become obsessive with just the tattva of Shiva, and therefore she is meditating. Ka buddhi. Buddhi, and how did this buddhi come to be in such a glorious state? Sthira bhavitum Ishwarapada Padmasakta Vadhuhu Virahini Iva Sada Smaranti. So there are two parts to this. One is Shankaracharya wanted his buddhi to be sthira bhavitum, to keep it fixated, to put the buddhi achara, So you can also call this samadhi itself. So samadhatte iti samadhi. The buddhi which is held together is samadhi. So in such a state of sthira bhavitum, Ishvara pada padma satta. Again, yogically it means the sahasrara. So Ishvara's pada is the highest state that one mortally can achieve. Pada padma sakta buddhi vadhuhu virahini iva sada smaranti. So she started doing smarana. She started thinking and meditating upon the form of Shiva of the Pada Padma. How Virahini Vadhu Iva, a young to be wife maiden who is constantly lost in the grief of bereavement from the beloved. So there is the bride who is yet to be, let's say the Nishchitartha has happened, and now she is always texting the groom. She's always enraptured by stalking his Facebook or Twitter and Instagram reels. She is always thinking, planning ahead for the future, and more so it was without all of these salakaranas in the previous days. They used to write letters, and old school love was happening there, right? So that is called Virahini. She has had a glimpse of the groom, which is Shiva's Pada Padma, and now she wants to get back to that. She is looking forward to the day of wedding, and so she is having this great viraha, separation anxiety, you could say. So she is always constantly remembering, trying all her best to reach out and have a conversation with the beloved. Smaranti. Katham sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi sammohita. So therefore she is under a spell which has of being, of always emoting bhavana. She's always emoting and offering all her emotions to the sat, to the nitya vastu, bhavana, smarana, and then remembering, recollecting all the sweet memories, darshana, and so smarana is of the past, right? So can only recollect something from the past, and through these memories she is offering her time, energy, resources to the beloved, and then darshana, and then to actually make an effort to go meet up with the groom, which is Shiva, that is darshana. And once you meet up with the groom, what do? You start extolling, you start praising, and it works both ways actually. But anyway, this is because buddhi is here three. I'm saying it in one direction. So she starts praising and she starts extolling the glories, legends, all the sweet times they had together, and reminiscing of sweet love between them, kirtanadi, and bhavana. Bhavana can also mean in the future. They are to plan for the future is also called to bhavana. Bhavayati iti bhavana. To make it happen is also an example of a bhavana, an emotion. Sammohita, and therefore all the present, past, and the future are completely dedicated to the beloved, and she is lost in this smarana. Such a buddhi, along with the Shiva mantra, will therefore come to the state of Veda. Veda means here meditation. Buddhi sthira bhavitum vinte. A very gripping shloka, which is giving us also the methods of dhyana.
So I feel like there are the three aspects, right, in Vedanta. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. And you have mentioned Samadhi as well. There is Samadhi and there is Smarana. Yeah, I think this is more yogic in nature, like the way to perceive it. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
Dhanyawad. It's a, I would say, not strictly yogic, but also a good wedding between yoga and bhakti, because Bhakti usually is the one which always emphasizes this viraha bhava of missing someone, and all bhavanas and smarana, all of this is very yogic, so to speak. But sorry, bhakti is very bhakti.
That is there. But here, virahavat iti uktam khalu. Virahavat, what is it called? Virahita iti va?
Virahini iva
Smarati.
smaranti.
Smarati. Correct. So, in the sense that it is always remembering the thing. I don't know if we have to do the adhirohana of viraha bhava. Oh, we should. Okay. Yeah. You are right. I'm sorry.
Virahini iva, as a person would dearly, deeply miss another, the beloved. So the buddhi is in that way doing smarana of it. And through what other means? By bhavana, smarana, darshana, kirtana, adi, sammohita. So the buddhi, the reins of the buddhi is no longer with the jiva, with the jivi. It has got into a loop of obsession of Shiva. So it is sammohita. There is no taking it back. So such a vadhu who is like a person who is deeply, desperately longing, who is under the cast, who has been cast the spell of Shiva mantra, as she would do a dhyana or japa and so on. That is how the buddhi is doing Vinte. For the intellect to become steady, to achieve samadhi, I ensured the mind, the bride of Shiva's feet, to constantly remember you, O Shiva, like a lost lover. Through sweet memories, emotions, visualization, and expression, she has now been cast a spell, as though also through the recitation of Shiva's sacred mantras, which is Om Namah Shivaya, to be specific. Astu. Anyah kopi abhipretum ichhati?
I would like to say something off the record, not now.
Okay. Ante vadatu, ante. सदुपचार विधिष्वनुबोधितां सविनयां सुहृदं समुपाश्रितां मम समुद्धर बुद्धिमिमां प्रभो वरगुणेन नवोढवधूमिव. Once again, he's doing an adhyaropa of a feminine form to his buddhi, which is in this case as a Nava Udha Vadhum Iva, a just married, a just wedded bride. So Navodha, freshly married couple. So just as now the previous verse was asking his buddhi to be like this engaged, to be the engaged fiance of Shiva. And now the marriage has happened. So the buddhi is now the Nava Udha Vadhu. Udha means Vivahita iti. Nava Vivahita Vadhu. Vadhum Iva, He Prabho, just as that, O Lord, Sadupachara Vidhishu Anubodhitam, my buddhi, which is Imam Buddhim, Sadupachara Vidhishu Anubodhitam. She is well versed with Sadupachara, just as you would think of a bride being given away in marriage, right? So there is already this conversation happening between the bride's family and the groom's family, where they come. There's this very peculiar, stereotypical samosa session which happens, where they come for coffee, and there is some conversation about the groom's job, what his career has been, how he looks, and all that. And then, as we have all seen in enough Bollywood and other movies too, we call the bride to come, and she comes with a great amount of modesty, shyness, and she's very very well behaved. Sadupachara vidhishu Anubodhitam, and then she's asked to cook some meal, right? So similarly, he's saying Mama Buddhi is Sadupachara Vidhishu Anubodhita. She is well versed, Anubodhita, in Sadupachara Vidhishu, in all good manners. We'll look at the deeper meaning a little later. Savinayam Suhridam. She is very modest. Savinayam Suhridam. Very well intended, well wishing. Suhridam Samupashritam. She has now been given away to you. Okay, so now she is in your ashraya. Of course, I don't necessarily believe or agree fully with this concept of Kanyada. We'll come to that later on. But this is what he's saying. Samupashritam. Now she is under your ashraya, O Prabho. Mama Samudhara. So please take care of this Buddhi. She is your wife now. Just as you would, therefore you become the Vara Gunena. You become the Vara, the groom, who is very virtuous. And Imam Buddhim Navodha Vadhumiva Samudhara. Take her hand and you carry off, take my mind away, this mind which is the bride away into your home. This is the Sthula Artha. So now, of course, coming to the Gadha Artha, Sadupachara Vidhishu Anubodhitam. Sat ityukte Sat Padarthaha Yat Shivaha. Sat Upachara Vidhishu, Arthat Puja Vidhishu. Mama Buddhi is well versed in the Vidhi Vidhana of doing Upachara of Sat. Shiva Pujadi Vishayeshu Ati Nipuna Asti Mama Buddhi. Meaning, how did it become Nipuna? Because the Buddhi was doing all these pujas all this while. And now the Buddhi, because of a lot of Vidya, has become Savinaya. Vidya Dadati Vinayam. My Buddhi has lost its arrogance by knowing deeper and deeper Shastras and other systems of knowledge and has become very modest. Savinayam. Apicha Suhridam. Even Ravana was very knowledgeable in all the Vedas, but he was not a Suhrid. He did not have a clean heart. What was not his, he was willing to snatch it away. Right? So, Magridha Kasya Svidhanam is the Upanishadic injunction. Do not hanker after any other, some other property, asset, person, etc. Kasyachit dhanam magrithaha. So he was not a suhrid. But my buddhi, though has learned all the scriptures, is very modest, is still a suhrid. It still is alive with joy and has not become bitter. Suhridam. Samupashritam. And now it is in the ashraya of Shiva. It is under the spell of Shiva. And this buddhim Varagunena Navodha Vadhum Eva Samudhara. Varagunena can also mean the best of the gunas. Gunanam Varaha. What is that? Sattva. Sattva Gunena Navodha Vadhum Eva Samudhara. Please uplift my mind with sattva. There is a very famous shloka from the Bhagavad Gita. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaghanya gunavrittistha adho gachanti tamasaha. Those who take the ashraya of sattva, they are pulled up in the spiritual sense. Madhye tishtanti rajasaha. Those who take the ashraya of rajas, they will not go up or down, they will remain, there will be status quo in whatever their current level is. And Jaghanya Gunavrittistha Tamasaha Adho Gachanti. And if they, from whatever position they are, or whatever coordinate they are, if they do any tamasic activities or tamasic things, they will fall a little lower. So, Vasattva Gunena Uddhara. Please pull me up. Please do Uddhara of my mind, of my buddhi, just as a Navodha Vadhu.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, 6ಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಬೇಡ, 3ಕ್ಕೆ ತಗ್ಗಬೇಡ. Stay in between. That used to be the advice we used to be given when we were children. So if you go too far high and if you fall down, it's going to be very big fall. And if you go well below 3, to zero and minus and whatever, it is going to be very difficult to come back up. If you hover in between, you can go up and down, and you can have a fantastic game with your own life, So this is the way you can face ups and downs in your life. One day you're very, very good, and the other day you're depressed maybe, or you're not doing so good. So stay in between and handle it.
అది సర్వత్ర వర్జయేతి.
I'm sorry, I'm not very good in Sanskrit. I don't want to.
Ati means excess, ma'am. Sarvatra means everywhere. Varjayet means should be avoided.
No. I know the basic grammar. I have passed my COVID, but I'm not an expert. I'm not a professor. I'm just telling my life experiences. That's all, basically.
Yes. So exactly, he was just trying to tell that what exactly you said in very popular Samskrita phrase, an idiom actually. Ati sarvatra varjayate. Exactly. Moderation.
I find it difficult to understand that pronunciation or whatever. So I could catch something words that they or whatever. So I'm sorry.
There are things actually, Shantaji was like, don't be very happy when the good times, and don't just feel bad when the low time. Be stable, keep the mind stable in different phases of life. And Ati Sarvatra Vajayati is something like, that is a Sanskrit word saying that don't overdo anything, or just like, Ati Upavasam and too much of eating, for an example.
Yeah, it's moderation.
Moderation. These two are like, that is a state of mind. This is the urge to do things in excess.
Ati santosham, ati dukkham, etc. also. Not just this. Ati santosham, ati dukkham, sarvam varjayeti.
Yeah. That is a state of mind. That's true. The action also, like, I want to eat something, or otherwise I want to do something, or otherwise just like Dhritarashtra was too much of moha. That is also a thing. And too much of negligence. Okay, nowadays parents don't get attached to the children, and they leave away for free. I mean, let them enjoy their life. Otherwise, they don't restrict it. Shikshana without a shikshana. That's also too bad. That kind of action as well as state of mind. Yeah.
So anything you do in your life, do it with moderation.
Moderation.
Yeah. Anyway.
One more thing I wanted to note was tadulpatara vidhishu anubodhitam ityukte, before marriage or just before marriage, the family members of the girl, they sit her down, or the mother especially, they sit her down and tell her, these are the vidhis, these are the acharas, these are the things that you should follow, these are the things you should say, you should not say, etc., etc. So maybe that is also something that is being said here.
Oh yeah, Satyam. Avashyam.
Say anything. It's a life of my own. So
Yes. True.
it's also possible. Not everybody is going to be under the spells of their parents. Sorry, I'm going down.
True. But it's only an example. Navodha vadhum iva, because that is the popular culture. I don't know if it was so popular in his own time. I mean, definitely today, we do still see it happening after 1200 centuries. But yeah, there is always this.
Still makes me.
There is always this, misogynistic view where people have forgotten that even the boy used to be made to sit down by his guru, and there was this entire shishya ashasana mantra. In fact, the Vedas themselves have an entire 2-page document of the instructions given by the guru during his Kashi Yatra time. So if you remember, in Vivahas, there is this Kashi Yatra event which happens. Now it is just an Aupacharika Vidhi, but the actual the samskara was that before the vivaha, there was something called Samavartana, where the person graduated out of the Gurukula, and then the Guru made him sit down and give him all the instructions of how to lead life, how you must look after the family, what your important goals are, and so on. And similarly, because I don't know if the women were brought back from the Gurukula and then told these advices by their parents, or I don't know how it went, but definitely it happened on both sides. But people and society has picked up only one side of it, where it seems as though only the woman is always told what to do, how to behave, and so on. It was not, and we have conveniently left out the part where even the boy was very strictly disciplined and given guidance. The Taittiriya Upanishad, the end part of it starts as it's called the Acharyopasana mantraha. So Veda Manuchya Acharyaha Antevasina Manushasti. And then he says Satyam Vada Dharmanchara, look after your parents, look after, do all these Devakarya, Pitrakarya, do not hurt anybody, take care of and respect them. And in fact, the mantras go on to even describe if you committed a crime or something bad or a blunder, and if somebody else has done that, how you must behave, and all these very dharma sukshmas are explained well. But yeah, we have conveniently left that part out and made only the girl give samosas.
And also heard there used to be 16 types of marriages. This was not the only one traditionals of life. There was Gandharva Vivaha and kidnapping and forceful marriages. The 16 types. I don't remember all the 16 types of marriages which are listed. This was listed in some, whatever, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think these are called the different Daiva Vivaha, Gandharva Vivaha, and so on. Okay, let's get that.
Viva Manusha Vaishachika Rakshasa.
Yeah.
Daiva is that, and this one is Gandharva Vivaha. We know that like Abhijnana
And then Swayamvara.
The Swayamvara where there's no witness other than the Panchabhutas. That's all. And Manusha we have in the society. And Vaishachika is the name suggests. Daitya is like how Ravana kidnapped, that kind of forceful marriages, which is not agreeable in a civilized society, and also as per that.
Oh, sadhu, sadhu. In fact, an important point was even during this Swayamvara, it was not that anybody who won the battle or whatever test they passed, they would automatically be eligible to take away the bride. Then the bride would be consulted. That is why, even though Karna did, I'm not sure of the exact story, but though I think he had passed, was not even allowed to participate in the test, I think so, in the Draupadi Swayamvara. Or it could be the other, I confused the story. But then Draupadi did not consent to marrying Karna. So then it was then that.
Actually, recently there was a discussion with one of our trust members who is Vaishyas, and why these kind of kulas, and our Guruji explained it. Why this is each and every, this one is a little different stages to pursue further. There is no discrimination as such. And then later on, I had to just remind that why Krishna goes to approaches Draupadi, and because it's a Swayamvara and Vadhu had complete authority to choose the Vara. So nobody objected it. No one objected. Karna participated over there. And since Bhagwan knew the future, he went and whispers in her ear saying that he object his participation because he's equally eligible to win this one, Matsya.
Yeah, Matsya Yantra.
Because Karna is a dushta. Krishna already knows that Karna is a dushta and he tells her not to let him participate.
Yeah, but nobody says, but he makes Draupadi say it. When he doesn't utter, so before even he lifts the bow, she says that I will not marry Sutaputra. But actually, it is not insulting him, but the hidden meaning is that, like, because if we win that competition, it will be a drastic approach. That's the hidden. Yeah.
In fact, there is this Ami Gadatra's book where she actually categorically says this incident of she calling him Sutaputra, though of course the marriage incident is there, but she specifically using these casteist words of Sutaputra or the very popular Hindi Andhe ka putra andha hai, etc. All these are actually not there in the original Mahabharata, it seems. Of course, I have myself not read it, but Ami Ganatra, a very popular Mahabharata storyteller, she says so. So
We know recent decades. We know recent decades what happened to our knowledge being twisted with all agendas.
Right.
Yeah, we have to uncover and get only the truth actually hidden behind those words. Yeah.
Satyam. नित्यं योगी मनः सरोजदल संचार क्षमस्त्वत्क्रमः शंभो तेन कथं कठोर यमराट वक्षः कवाट क्षतिः अत्यन्तं मृदुलं त्वदङ्घ्रियुगलं हा मे मनश्चिन्तयति एतल्लोचन गोचरं कुरु विभो हस्तेन संवाहये. Hey Vibho, O Lord, you who is omnipresent, Mama Etallochana Gocharam Kuru, come before me and become Gochara to my eyes. Lochana is Netra, become Gochara to my eyes. Etallochana Gocharam Kuru Vibho, make your Mrudula Pada Padma Gochara to me, so that Hastena Samvahaye, may I massage. Samvahaye is massage. May I, with my hands, massage your supple feet. Tvadangri yugalam hastena samvahaye. This is what my manas chintayati. Ha, me manas chintayati. My mind is thinking this. What is it thinking? Nityam yogi manas sarojadala sanchara kshamaha tvat kramaha tvat tava kramaha. Kramaha is your sanchara is usually restricted to Nityam Yogi Manas Sarojadala Sanchara. Your feet have gotten used to doing Sanchara only on the Mrudula Pada, on the Sarojadala, Manas Sarojadala, on the heart lotuses of the yogis. And therefore, they have not they're not acclimatized to stepping on anything else. Right? But then Shambho, Tena Katham, and with such supple feet of yours, Atyantam Mrudulam Tadangri Yugalam. We already called your feet as Pada Padma, and you know how lotuses are very soft, tender, and silk-like. So with such feet, then how are you able to Kathora Yamarad Vakshaha Kavata Kshatihi? Kshati is to kick. How did you open the Kavata, the door of Kathora Yamarad Vakshasthala? So there is the incident where Markandeyaha यदा षोडशिकः आसीत् तदानीं तस्य मृत्युः एव निश्चितः आसीत्. तदानीं यमः स्वीयं कर्तव्यं कर्तुम् आगतः. तदा मार्कण्डेयः शिवनाम जपे एव निमग्न आसीत्. तद् ध्यानसमाप्तिं जपसमाप्तिम् अपि अविलक्ष्य यमः तस्य पाशेन मार्कण्डेयस्य ग्रीवां बध्नाति. तदानीं शिवस्य मार्कण्डेयस्य च अतिविरहभावेन सह भक्त्या लिङ्गं तद् आलिङ्गयति. तस्मात् यमः तस्य लिङ्गात् शिवः उद्भूय यमराजस्य यमराट् इत्युक्ते यमराजस्य वक्षस्थलं खित्ति. He kicks the chest of Yama, and here it is told his chest, which is as hard, kathora, as the door. If you see, if you have gone to the temples, the main door of the temple is always very hardened wood, and sometimes even steel and other things are there. So let's just look up a picture to visualize. Shiva and Yama. I think this reference has come multiple times. This exact picture of him kicking, it's somewhere here. So if you are able to see this image, evam Shivah vakshasthalam kshitti. He kicks the chest of Yama. Here, of course, you should imagine Yama wearing all his armor, kavacha and kundalas, etc., which is quite hard. And thus because his heart is stone cold, because he harvests souls, he is the soul reaper, right? So he is the god of death. And so his chest is also very hardened. So how did your feet be able to kick the chest of Yama and not get hurt? And therefore, because it has now been hurt, I want to massage your feet. And hence, it's not for my own sake. I want to give you a massage. Therefore, become etal lochana gocharam. Come before me and stand before these two eyes. Show me your feet so that I may give a good massage to you. A very funny and also clever